Actually, one of the first sessions I've cut short in, I can't even remember how long, so I'm pretty pissed off right now, but... Cool. Sunday, 6th of April, we're in Vicky Park, stomping ground. Me, Mo, we're here to get 32k long running for London Marathon. London Marathon training has been, to be honest, just like non-existent. Lifestyle in the first quarter of this year has been mad. A lot of opportunities, a lot of traveling, which has been great, but comes at a cost when it comes to locking in. I mean, like Tokyo was the same. I think I had like 3 actual proper structured training runs. So I feel like training in general at the minute has just been BAU, business as usual, just getting it done. No real in-depth, probably not as much mileage as I would like to, or good quality mileage. So London we're taking with a pinch of salt. We're going to go out there, we're going to have fun, we're going to see what we can get. Maybe there's a PB on the table, maybe not, but I've got really big ambitions this year for what I want to achieve in my marathon time. Like I want to get under that 2:45 number. I've saying it here now out loud, but I feel like I don't want to waste my potential by not committing to a block properly or having the time to. So we're really going to carve out 12 to 16 weeks after London for a marathon. I'm not going to say which one yet because we're still finalising that, but knee's still been playing up from Tokyo. I think I mentioned it in one of the vlogs, a little bit of IT band issue, so we're going to nurse that today. But we've got 32k, 21k, so a half marathon at race pace, new race pace, which is around 4 minutes to 4 minutes 5 per kilometre. But going to go out there, going to have fun with it. It's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, but that's the daily discomfort. That's what we're here for. That's how we grow. So without further ado, let's move. As long as it's under 4:10, I'm happy.
You are sending it, fucking hell. My electric bike.
I feel great. It's been 18 metres. My knee does hurt though. I'm not even going to cap.
Still have 355s.
Actually, one of the first sessions I've cut short in, I can't even remember how long, so I'm pretty pissed off right now, but knees just hurting. Forgot to mention, obviously did speed project last week. I did like 116k in like a day and a half, and then we all got neurovirus after, so I've been like underfueled, I don't know, all week. Yeah, pace was feeling fine, but my knees just hurting, and for the sake of my ego, I'm not gonna turn a couple week injury into a quarter thing.
Yeah.
I've got way too many things on. Just got to take this one on the chin, really. I hate it. I just feel...
Made the executive decision to cut it short because 1, I've had the same injury, and 2, there's no glory in pushing past pain in training and then writing yourself off for the race. You might as well just get to the start line as healthy as possible and push past the pain then. But these 10k of additional pace to write you off for the race is not going to make any difference.
Yeah.
So
it's just a tough one when you want to be your best and you constantly want to improve, and then sometimes you have to accept going back. Yeah.
Actually, a part of it is taking these ones on the chin. Like if you were to sit at home and cry and not come back and try and do this again at another point, or not train and just be like, my marathon's written off, that's when you become a loser.
Yeah.
But taking a session off because you don't want to risk any more injury, that's not being a loser, that's being responsible.
Yeah. It's more annoying because I actually want to do the session.
I know, but there's no glory in injury.
So I might just try and see how some slow miles feel. I don't know, it doesn't hurt when I'm running easy, which is weird. I thought it would have been the other way around.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty bummed out.
Bounce back.
Honestly, if I'm being real right now, I just want to focus on that 24-hour race and just go into another base build, run London, see what happens, get into that, and just get. I don't want this to become a whole hoo-ha. I ain't got fucking time for that shit. You know what I mean? Mate, that is where it is. There, fucking hell, bro.
IT band is a sheet that comes from your hip down to there, bro. And when this is inflamed, every time the knee flexes, it's rubbing against.
That fucking really hurt.
And you don't want that.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
Knee flexion. That's why running easy is slow. I mean, running slow is easier because you're not bending your knee as much.
Other one, tried to turn around to pick up the runners that were in that one. And we are at Run Limited today. I'm not running this because my knee's still hurting. But sat there last night, check it out. We've got Cadence bottle, one of each of the new sachets in there. Gonna give them out to all the runners who are doing London Marathon. They're on their last long run. Box filled up, ready to go. Gotta give the people what they want. Morning. Send me your Addy when I leave here and I'll send you all the shit anyway. Yeah. It's mad though, isn't it? It's like the chase of getting quicker. I feel like it don't end, bro.
No, it's never.
I felt like when I got my last time, I was
Oh.
like, in my head before I got that time, I was like, when I have that, that's like, I feel like I've completed the marathon. And as soon as I finished, I was like,
Bro.
and because I trained with Mo's going for like 2.4, and I'm like, bro, I gotta get, I'm slow. I need to get quicker.
That's one of the best things about it, though.
Yeah, I love that, bro. Like, I genuinely like just running with people that are quicker than me all the time. Just with like Leon and Mo and that, like, it motivates me to just get quicker. Yeah, it's cool. So, I'm gonna do
Paris is right now, so if you're running Paris, you're late.
Cadence, we're electrolytes. We do canned drinks, sachets. So just to get you all ready before London, there's a bottle in there for everyone on the side. It's got our new sachets in. So there's a core one, a race one with caffeine, and a sleep one. So there's some samples and a bottle in there for you all when you finish today. That's all it is.
Loose, arms loose, dangling. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Now we're at Run Limited. I feel like I'm here so much, I might as well work here, but today we're shooting the 247 London Marathon campaign for the new kit, which should be sick. Shooting with Anna, should be fun. I don't do like a lot of like modeling stuff, so kind of interested to see how I get on, but yeah, busy day today. It's heavy.
Yeah, I know. I put weight because I put weight on the back as well.
Yeah, so it like
Nice, isn't that? Yeah.
Actually, it is pretty sick. You get the spud at the end.
And then you get the fist bump.
Knee's still giving me some pain, which is, yeah, not ideal, but it is what it is. Like, I used to get so upset, like, oh, I can't race London now, but there's always another race, and yeah, got some other stuff that we're building towards. One of them is a very long race, and currently running slow doesn't hurt. It's only when I go over 5-minute Ks. So I'm at the track. Gonna do a little bit of a mini simulation today. We're gonna do 8K on the hour, every hour for 5 hours or so about 40k. Or if my knee hurts, we'll stop before. But yeah, I'm just itching to get training, get miles in, going into like a race that is going to be a couple 100 kilometers, not that long. So rather than dwell on London and like still try and run that quick, we're going to go out there, we're going to finish it, see how we feel on the day, and just get stuck into this next block really of long miles again.
Tell me about the journey, man.
We'll actually probably have to go right back to, I must have been, I think I was like 21, 22. I'd worked loads of jobs that I hated, in debt. I just stopped living on my sister's sofa at this point. I was working in the Weatherspoons in the airport. And I remember like self-studying a little bit of marketing. And that was the first time I think I had a bit of I always knew I wanted to do something in my life, but that was like the first time I actually had a spark of like, I really want to do something. I want to start my own business. And I went away for a weekend, and this is like before Deliveroo, Uber Eats, all them were a thing. And I was like, why is no one going to any restaurant or store, picking stuff up and delivering it to people? And that birthed the idea that is now GoGetters. So yeah, I mean, that was 8 years ago. And I was like, I'm going to start a food delivery company. Go to any local restaurant, pick stuff up for people, and then put like a margin on top. We just charged like £5 delivery. I like went out, I had like a PayPal machine. We had like our first like uniform that I just like got printed. And I like went out, did like 4 deliveries that night and made an extra £20 on top of my salary. And I was like, this is sick. And then I'd never really met him before, but Owen, who's now the co-founder, he had like hit me up and was like, this is a sick idea, like I want to get involved. He was like, we can do this, we should grow it, blah, blah, blah. I'd done one shift, then he hit me up and I was like, let's do this together. And that birthed, from that minute onwards, probably one of the craziest journeys I've ever been on in my life. Like, almost quit a 9-5 to literally work 24/7. So before we had the app, before we had the tech, before we had a team, we literally had a mobile phone, and it's still this same number. And people would text it and be like, hey, I want so-and-so from Nando's. And then we would reply, we would call up Nando's, order it, go and pick it up, pay for it out of our own money, and then deliver it to the house with a card machine or take cash and put fibre on top. And we were 24/7 because we used to deliver alcohol at night as well. So I'm not even joking, but for 2 years straight, one day I would work until 4 a.m, go to Owen's house, post the phone through his letterbox. Then he would start at 5 a.m. He would go through. We would both do the day. One of us would do midnight till 4 a.m. Every party, every event, like we literally missed everything. And we were like barely earning money at that point, but we knew that we were growing something. And it would like, there were so many times where we could have just gave up with it. Like, we were getting our office robbed all the time because people knew that we took cash. Remember, we got our first like bill from HMRC because we didn't even really understand what that was, and they were like, "You owe us $6,000," and we were like, "We don't have $6,000." We literally, I remember, I begged my sister to lend me her house deposit without her boyfriend knowing, and she was like, "I need it back next week," and we literally had no way of like getting it back, but we did. we took on investments from people that like turned out to like scam us. We lost like 50 grand investment. So many opportunities just to like call it a day. And I remember, I think after a year, we got the app developed. We managed to get like an angel investor. So we had like 150k investment where we thought it was like the biggest thing ever. And yeah, we brought on someone to help with tech, Adam. We actually had something here, like a proper business now. And I remember when we first had to hire a driver, it was like, oh my, like we're hiring a member of staff, this is insane, how's it gonna work? To now having 300 drivers on the road. We've had over 2,000 drivers work for us. 15 people full-time in the office. Like a real operation. And people say like, how did I get from here to here? And sometimes it's a blur. Like I never studied any of this, never had the knowledge to make any of this happen, but the best way of learning was just doing it, like completely throwing ourselves in the deep end, making mistake after mistake after mistake, which more just turned out to be lessons in business, which were stepping stones to something bigger and better. But yeah, I mean, what really transformed us, I think, was about 2 years in, like I massively burnt out and went and did a little bit of traveling. And then at that point we were like turning over, I think we turned over like 750,000 a year, which in the grand scheme of things of a big team was not a lot. We were like living off the tips that we would get as a driver. I had to move out my flat. I was living on Owen's mum's sofa. And so like our biggest thing we were delivering at one point was Nando's, but no one had they weren't working with us, so they didn't have our printer system in the restaurant. We were like rogue doing the whole operation with the manager in there. So we would like, their head office got in touch and was like, you need to stop delivering our food. And we like rebranded it on the site to like Piri Piri. And we went in there one day with like 1,000 receipts and was like, we've made your restaurant like 200k, blah, blah, blah. And then they started to play ball with us a bit. And then that's when like delivery and Uber Eats just came out of the ground and came out of nowhere. And we were like, well, we're fucked, we're done. Like, we're never gonna survive this. But the difference with GoGetters is we only deliver independent brands. From that minute, we realized that we needed to help the small guy, who we was as well. So all these major chains, all these big restaurants, they mass produce the apps, all the big apps like Deliveroo and Uber, they prioritize the people that are doing the most volume. So if you're a small restaurant and you go on their app, you're not really gonna get seen. And then you've got to pay to promote yourself in the app. So we were like, let's create an independent ecosystem. And our business model was, we're not going to go in the cities where it's all about a discount. We're going to go in affluent areas where people have made decent money, and it costs the same to deliver a £10 order than it does a £100 order. And at this point, we're getting commission off the partner restaurants. So why not deliver the £100 order and make more money? You're paying out the same. So we go for affluent areas where people aren't buying just for themselves, like students. They're buying for them, the wife, the 2 kids. The restaurants are a little bit more premium, they're a little bit more expensive. And that positioned us really well in the market with having the highest average transaction value in food delivery. But at that point, we were still burning money because we were trying to grow. And I think it was about, so COVID happened. Every restaurant that didn't want to be a takeaway only had the option to be a takeaway. Everyone had to deliver, and everyone was on furlough and actually sort of had money to spend at that point. And I think that year is when we went from 700,000 to like 3 million turnover in a year. It went from me, Owen, his brother and my brother to like a full operation. And we were like not prepared for that at all. And it was so funny because like so many people locally would like ask us like, how have we done this? How have we done that? And like, there's no secret to like business other than just like tenacity, like relentlessly getting in the office every day, no matter what the situation is. Like when you're a director or a founder or a CEO, like you have this to-do list of stuff that you want to do, but really you're just putting out fires every day and you're handling the hard situations, the tough situations. And yeah, from that minute when COVID hit, we become this big scale business. We took on investment from Addison Lee, And here we are now. We're still scaling into new towns across the southeast of the UK. I think it's funny, people see lifestyle on Instagram and think, you know, I'm an athlete full time, or all I do is run or make content, but like the majority of my time is spent here growing this brand, growing this business. You know, it's literally in my DNA. Like, I owe everything to it. And sometimes I think I'm really lucky that my first business idea nearly 9 years later is still working out, turning over probably 7-8 million this year. But we sacrificed so much to be here that I don't see it as luck anymore. We were prepared for all the opportunities that come because we gave our life to this. And that's my biggest thing in business or whatever you want in life, is you have to be prepared to give it your all for maybe even a decade, and that decade can set you up for the rest of your life. So yeah, there's been many trials and tribulations, many moments where we wanted to stop, many fallouts, many doors slammed, many, you know, wrong employees, right employees who leave. But yeah, I wouldn't change any of it. It's been a crazy ride for sure.
How did you get about to the point of reaching out to Herc and having this idea and the vision?
Well, yeah, 2016, I remember, I think you put something on your story or on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook days.
Facebook saying, thinking about doing this sort of on-demand delivery service, get you whatever you want for a £5. What does everyone think? And I think it was, you got a load of good reaction, and then when you bought, which is a picture in front of us, you got some like cheap uniforms made. Like,
yeah, Vistaprint.
cheap as possible. But when I saw that, I was like, man, something in me, I mean, I was only 19 at the time, but something in me saw it. And I was like, I need to. I'd known about Herc, but never actually met him. And
yeah, we didn't actually know each other before.
Probably been in parties and stuff like that, but never actually spoken. So for me to then reach out and say, like, I'd love to get involved with this, especially at the age of 19, was quite a big thing. But I think I wrote out a massive paragraph, and you probably, at that point, I think you had a few people going, yeah, I'll give you investment and stuff like that and whatnot. So I can only assume you might have thought, oh, just another one of these.
You know what I did actually think? I remember being like, because we met up and you come out, and then it was the fact that you were like, I'll be in the car every single night as well. And I was like, that's not what I need, that's what it needs. Like, it would have been impossible to do as one person. It actually would have been. You couldn't have done it.
No, it was, I'll be in, as you just said, I'll be in the car every single night, every single hour. And I think we started doing that, started coming out in the first car that you had bought.
Yeah.
All signed, written, and we weren't even doing many orders. It was like some nights you'd sit there and maybe get one. But that one order was enough to keep the light and the motivation going. But I was like, I don't care. Like, it's not about what we're doing now, it's what we're going to do in a year and 2 years and stuff like that. So yeah, reached out anyway on Instagram, said I'd love to get involved. Then we started going out in the car and whatnot. And then I think, yeah, it got to the stage where I was in the car so much, we then had to discuss, okay, well, are we going to make this a proper business proposal or deal and whatnot? And then we said, yeah, let's do this together. And we went 50-50 and started smashing it. But we were working full time as well. So it was up at 5 a.m, in the gym together. Then we went off to our separate jobs. Then we met back up at 6 o'clock after we'd had dinner. And then it was that until sort of silly o'clock every single day for over a year, until we were confident enough to sort of take the further leap of giving up the jobs, really, which I don't know if you said what happened there.
No, that further leap was actually the rope.
It was actually a mistake.
It just shows that, like I was saying earlier, sometimes a mistake ends up being a lesson, it ends up being a good thing. Like, I quit my job because we thought we had investment.
Yeah.
But it turned out not, I don't want to call it a scam, but it was like, the guy was like going to give us money. Basically, we were young and naive, and the contract was like, we were signing away the whole company. And last minute, someone was like, you cannot sign this. So then I'd quit my job, I got no income, and I'm like, sick. The business is doing like £300 a week, and I don't have a job anymore. And then
I'd left mine as well.
Yeah, you'd left yours.
We both had left our stable income, and yeah, we've.
But you know what? that is the reason why it worked. And I'm not saying people need to be in extreme situations, but sometimes when you get forced in one, you'll either like crawl back in a hole or go back to what's comfortable. But like what used to play on my mind there so much is like good is the enemy of great. Like going back and just getting a job would be good, but this can be great. And basically we had no option but to make it work. Like we couldn't get investment. And then from the minute when we'd borrowed my sister's house deposit, like I said, and it was like, okay, we have to get 150 grand investment. What did we get in 2 weeks? 150 grand investment. It wasn't an option to not get it. Like, yeah. Yeah, well, that's that. 6 years in this office, built the business, went through a crazy amount of highs and lows in here, times when we thought we might have to quit, times when everything was on top of the world, but yeah, that's it. Everyone's out now, everyone's in the new place, new beginnings, new opportunities, new growth in the company. Yeah, it's weird. Been plotted in here for a long time, but excited to change the environment to something nicer as well. And just like your environment, I think, is so important when it comes to business, and having somewhere that sort of fits the criteria of growth, of wanting to expand, people feeling in an environment that sometimes it's nice to leave the past in the past. You know, we've had a lot go on in here, and on to the next. Yes, people, right. That is the end of a busy week. Just prepping for another one. London Marathon obviously coming up in the next episode. But thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.